The Viking war chant. And Dan Bailey just signed this week, the former Cowboy, your former teammate. Will kick here to Marcus Murphy. The Vikings defer. Will put the ball in the hands of the rookie quarterback to start. Murphy will down it, and a touchback to get started, and let's get to Tracy quickly.
Jim, injuries a big deal for both teams. You mentioned it. Delvin Cook out with that hamstring injury. He insists he'll be back for Thursday, though. Everson Griffin, the defensive end, he's out with a knee. As for the Bills, I spoke with LaShawn McCoy. He said that rib injury right now just makes it really hard for him to run at full speed. He hopes he's back by next week. And cornerback Philip Gaines out with a dislocated elbow. A very thin secondary for these Bills, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. And Chris Ivory will get the first snap at running back as Allen starts out of the gun, moving Clay around. And a quick pass to get a completion into the hands of Ray McLeod III, a rookie they drafted out of Clemson in the 6th round. And he's got a quick 6. Here is Josh Allen. Last week, his first start at home. They were down big early to the Chargers. Second half, they saw some optimism in what happened with this team in the second half of that game. A touchdown pass, a couple of picks, sacked 5 times. He's played just 6 quarters total as he came in week 1 in a lopsided affair down at Baltimore. 2nd and 4. Murphy now the running back as Allen fakes and lofts it. And that ball headed to Kelvin Benjamin, and it should have been caught. He had Xavier Rhodes on him, who helped strip it loose. And, well, as you see the Bill starters on offense, and it's a kind of a reworked offensive line from last year, what schematically expecting out of them today?
Well, I want to see exactly what you just saw. Outside the numbers, let Josh Allen throw that big, show off that big arm, throw it outside the numbers, make them defend you. You're only going to complete 50% of them, but they're going to be big plays. You're going to see a lot of one-on-one. See the safety in the middle of the field? He's by himself a lot today. You'll see it over and over. Throw it outside, Josh.
3rd and 4, no chance, and he's taken down by Eric Wilson back at the 20, and a flag is down. And Josh Allen's convinced this is going against Minnesota. As Alex Kemp, the first-year referee in the league, is trying to sort this out.
Personal foul, blowing the head to initiate contact. Defense, number 98, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So the Bills get the first down on the penalty, and Josh Allen knew it. He was tapping his helmet as he was looking at the sideline. Here's the hit right here.
It's the second one coming in.
Yeah, it's Linval Joseph who applied it.
And you don't need to do that. He's already wrapped up.
Yeah, he was going down. They had no chance.
That's a silly decision by Joseph right there. Buffalo stay aggressive. Don't allow Minnesota. I think early in this game, if Minnesota gets a lead early and makes Buffalo one-dimensional, it's going to be very difficult. I don't mind throwing the ball on first down. I just think you got to be aggressive throwing it outside the numbers.
So from the 46 now, here's Ivory, the former Jet and Jaguar, picks up a couple. This Vikings defense, George Edwards is the defensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer calls the defense. It's the signals from the sideline, but this is a good bunch.
fantastic bunch. Sheldon Richardson, the pickup, has played outstanding football at the beginning of this year. Last week on tape, he looked like the best defensive lineman, and that's saying a lot when you have this many guys who are that talented on one group.
And he's had 6 quarterback hits through the first 2 weeks as Sheldon Richardson. 2nd and 9, they give Ivory just 1, and Allen's looking over and gets it to him, and he's got a first down. As Rhodes finally tackles him. Took a while, though, because Ivory's always been a tough man to bring down. First down for the Bills.
Just one side of the field. Josh Allen, great job looking at Benjamin and then just throwing a swing route outside over and over again. I just want to see him keep getting that ball out of his hand. Take a look there, let it go. Take a look there, let it go. That's going to help this offense.
Andre Holmes is at the top of the screen. Former wideout for the Oakland Raiders. And now Ivory, stutter step moving, looking for a crease. Finds one for a moment, and then is walloped after a hard-earned gain of 2. Both Kendricks and Harrison Smith bring him down.
Well, you see, you got Andre Holmes outside. It's just a running play right here. Ivory going outside zone. But you know what's interesting when you see that, Jim? If Andre Holmes is in the game and he's out, you see the tackle, these guys all fly to the ball. If he's in the game, don't you think they're running the ball? I want to see as this game moves on, a really unique coaching point would be like, let's use that against them and come up with a play action here as the game develops out of that same formation. We'll see if that happens later on.
2nd and 7, and now play action. And again, just dumping it off. That's Clay, the tight end, with another first down as this drive continues deeper into Minnesota territory. Jordan Mills with a nice block.
Yeah, it's a great, he's just going to make him think he's blocking him, and then Clay just, it's a screen pass to the tight end, and the sell, by making the DN feel like you're really blocking him, is the key there, and he does an excellent job.
Picks up 13.
They haven't led this year.
No, they've been down, actually.
I'm going out on a limb and saying they're leading this week. I'm going to go out there and say it.
From the 27, you're prescient. As Allen stands in the pocket, then unloads it over to Ivory. Ivory trying to get a wiggle around Barr. And another flag comes out against a Minnesota defender. Play picked up 6. In a drive that was kept alive by an unnecessary hit by Joseph in the first place.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 55. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Not only have they not led this season, Tony, out of 120 minutes coming in, they have trailed for 108 of the 120 minutes.
Yeah, well, you see right there the face mask. That's a good call. But you're exactly right. They just haven't been competitive, if you want, you know, for lack of a better term. They're just, the first halves in these games, they're getting blown out in their first 2 games. It's not even a game in the second half.
Been down 54-6 total in the first half. 28-0 in the first quarter, the first 2 weeks total. And now from the 11, nice spin move to save a loss, and picking up a yard is Marcus Murphy, 3rd-year running back out of Missouri. So, yeah, the Bills scoreless in the first quarter this season, have a chance to really do something here right at the start.
Yes, and you'll see the safety right here. This is where Josh Allen's going to learn. It's a run to the left. Well, guess what? No one's blocking that guy. You can't make that play. You've got to get out of that play. It's so early in your career. Those are little things that the coach is going to look at Monday and be like, Josh, what are we doing here?
Yep.
He's like, sorry, it's just kind of my 3rd game ever.
Yep, that was Sendejo, who was creeping up and had to hit in the backfield. 2nd and 9 from inside the 10 as Allen looks, takes off. He can run with it. Allen reaches for the pylon, and I think he has it. Waiting for a signal. Still no signal.
Well, it has to be a touchdown. I mean,
finally we get one of the linesmen says touchdown. They had 2 or 3 of them gathered talking it over, but what an effort by Allen.
Fantastic effort, and I'm telling you, he does. Everyone knows he can run. He's also looked about 7 feet tall when he dove from the 5.
We knew he could run. Did you know he could fly?
That was pretty good right there. You know what? What a great start. He's in. Look at that.
Oh, look. Oh,
that's a cool shot.
It looked like the pylon camera was getting a little nervous that he was coming after him.
He started moving before he got there.
So the first points in the first quarter this season, and Stephen Hauschka for the extra point. And it's 7-0 Buffalo. Not the kind of start the Vikings wanted to see. The Bills drive 75 yards, helped by that penalty, and Allen takes it home. Third Buffalo rookie quarterback to rush for a touchdown since 1970. The great Joe Ferguson back in '73. E.J. Manuel in 2013. So, Buffalo 7, Minnesota nothing.
That's why they play the game, Jim. Nobody. I mean, if this thing continues, that was an outstanding drive. Let's just say that. That was the best drive Buffalo's had this year at any point. And to do it at Minnesota.
Here's Mike Hughes. Just his second run back this season. He double clutches the football because he may have felt a little looseness carrying the pigskin, but there's a flag down as well. It was a great drive by Buffalo. 2 penalties, though, against the Vikings defense for 25 yards on that drive, too.
Personal foul, illegal double team block. Receiving team, number 24. Half the distance to the goal line. Minnesota's ball, first down.
So another Minnesota mistake in the first 5 minutes. And here's Kirk Cousins, the quarterback who threw for 425 at Lambeau last week, led this big rally down 20-9 going into the fourth. Look what he did in the fourth and in overtime. 219 yards, 3 touchdowns. They had the game won. They missed 2 field goals in overtime, including one the last play of overtime from 35 yards, and that's why Dan Bailey's now with him. As Cousins gets it outside to Murray, slips through 1 tackle and hops ahead for another 3. This Minnesota offense loaded on the outside. They don't have Dalvin Cook today. Murray is a very capable running back, though, as a backup and even as a starter.
Well, we're going no huddle right now. You see, they're going to get up tempo. They want to attack this secondary who has played not good football to start this year. You're going to see them be aggressive on offense.
And they got a good tight end, too, in Rudolph. Oh, it's over the head of Diggs. So a 3rd and 7 coming up. Tell me about this Buffalo defense. Now, they do not have Phillip Gaines today, so you got White on one side. You told us about him in the opening, but they've got all kinds of different moving parts coming in on the other side at corner, including Ryan Lewis, who was waived at the end of camp by New England.
Yeah, they've struggled. I mean, right now, there's no easy way to put it. They just the second half last week looked like the Buffalo from last year. They were flying around, they were making plays, and they want to come out here and kind of build off that momentum and kind of do the same thing. We're going to find out. I mean, they can get the stop right here. They've got field position.
3rd and 7 from the 10. Pressure on Cousins. Pocket collapsing, and Cousins, the ball comes out, and it looks like Buffalo's recovered.
They got it.
Buffalo football at the 15.
Trent Murphy with the hustle play all the way from behind, Jim, comes all the way back and hits the quarterback. And I think that ball's out, and I'm telling you, you'll see Murphy around the quarterback, and you can't even see in your screen here, and then right there, 93, punches it out. What a start for Buffalo, and this is exactly what we talked about, the trap game early.
Exactly. Murphy, his former teammate at Washington. He only got to get hits on Cousins occasionally in practice. He got a good lick there, and it forced the fumble recovered by Lorenzo Alexander. And look at Buffalo set up now at the 15.
Oh, I would throw right now. I'm throwing to the end zone up top. I want Benjamin up top, right there, one-on-one, and I'm throwing him the ball.
Gonna go ground. Or Ivory.
Or you could run it for 5. It's good either way. I'm good either way.
I saw Harrison Smith trying to cheat over a little bit. He saw what you saw with Benjamin. Maybe on a one-on-one situation, he was looking to help out. So they go ground. They pick up 4.
Well, one of our keys to the game was getting off to a good start for Buffalo. Every team wants to, but when you're in this stadium, in this environment, it's so difficult. If you let these pass rushers tee off on you over and over again, it's just too hard to think you're going to come back. You got to get the lead early.
2nd and 6. Inside shuttle pass. It goes to Clay, and he's about a yard short of the first. This Minnesota red zone pass defense was the best in the league last year, allowing only 33% completions in the red zone, about 20 points below the NFL average. So it'll be a 3rd and 1 as Clay is slow to get up but stays in. Zay Jones runs to the sideline. Benjamin also out. They bring in DeMarco, the fullback. Marshall Newhouse is an eligible receiver. They go extra lineman. Can they bang out a tough yard?
Well, once again, you've got Andre Holmes in, which is sending the message that we're running it. At some point, he's by himself down here at the bottom. You see, that's just a receiver. That tells the other team got a penalty. That tells the other team basically that we're running the ball. We're not putting our top receivers in.
Ball start. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That was Newhouse, who I had mentioned had come in as an eligible receiver, lined up just off Jordan Mills, the right tackle.
And that's the hardest thing, is when you get a extra line. He hasn't played it down yet. All of a sudden he's out there, and now the crowd noise is loud. You're just a little bit nervous. His first play. Got to sit in there.
Benjamin at the top. From the gun at the 11. Can pick up a first at the 5. 3rd and 6. They bring everybody. Allen comes in, and again, Benjamin drops it for the 2nd time here in the quarter.
That was a perfect ball by Josh Allen. He let it rip. We talked about it. Let it rip. Let it rip. Well, watch this. A man's coming free, and he fires that ball on a slant.
Had him set up. 1st and goal at the 1 if he holds on.
You got to catch that. Benjamin not off to a good start this year.
Oof, not today either. He's only got 3 catches on the season through 2 weeks, and he's had 2 opportunities. That one especially hurtful. Would have been 1st and goal at about the 1. So from 30 yards out, Hauschka from the right hash mark is able to deliver the 3. So off the Cousins fumble, recovered by Alexander, Bills put up a field goal.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Verizon, the best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by Ford, going further so you can.
And some of the images from yesterday's St. Jude walk and run to end childhood cancer, which took place here in downtown Minneapolis. And good for you. Thank you, Tracy Wolfson. Tracy, the honorary host of that run yesterday that ended right here on the field. A lot of money raised for a great cause. Here's the kick that leads to the touchback. And let's see what Minnesota can do now on its 2nd possession, having turned it over on the Cousins fumble the first time they had the football. So McDermott in the 2nd half last week, Tony, against the Chargers, started to get into calling some of the defensive plays. You know, the D coordinator for the Bills is the former head coach here at Minnesota, Leslie Frazier. So, you know, McDermott, he just got a little more involved, and he's doing that today, it appears.
Yeah, and you see they played great football. I mean, their best football on the defensive side in the 2nd half last week. So you're going to see them continue that in the NFL. When something works, you keep going with that. And McDermott, you know, he's not, you know, silly. He's been around so long. This isn't something brand new. He's been the coordinator. You see right there, Frazier calls. They switch it up. There's no like. This isn't about like egos or anything. It's like best idea wins. You know, like whoever's hot, whoever has a feel for the game. You know, if Frazier's calling the game and it's not going well, Sean will call the game. If Sean starts calling it's not going well, Frazier will do it. That happens all the time in the NFL.
2nd and 8 after a Murray 2-yard gain. They've got Boone in at running back now. Boone gets the handle. He's got hands on him right away. The rookie out of Cincinnati, no gain. We got an update. Let's go back to JP in New York.
Saquon.
Yeah, we got some action in Jim Nance's hometown, Houston. Saquon Barkley, 15-yard touchdown run, 3 rushes for 30 yards. The New York Giants lead the Houston Texans 7-3. Back to Jim, Tony, and Tracy.
All right, thank you, Phil, for the hometown shout-out, and both of those teams desperate for a win at 0-2. It's 3rd and 8, and the Vikings need to do something here. Down 10-0 early.
Sunday.
Here's Cousins. Pressure on him. And the ball's out again. And the Bills recovered again at the 25-yard line. Milano with the recovery, and Cousins has coughed it up twice here in the first quarter. This time stripped away from him by Jerry Hughes.
Outstanding job on the edge, but the left tackle, Reeve, gets bumped off by Murray, and it allows Hughes to get right off with a great strip sack. And what a start for this defense. Look at right here. It's exactly how you teach it. Grab with the left, rip with the right on the outside. Cousins with a start that he did not want to have. 2 fumbles. Wow, this is, Buffalo's got another shot. Here we go. Throw it deep, throw a touchdown, throw it down the field. There's no safeties in the middle of the field.
That's Robert Foster in motion. The pitch, Ivory. Nowhere to go, but able to at least reduce it to about a 1-yard loss. Cousins, by the way, 2 lost fumbles. He had 31 fumbles from 15 through 17, which tied for the most in the league.
Yes. Well, look right here. This is for Josh Allen. There's no safety anywhere down there. So look at, you think Minnesota feels threatened? They're telling you, please try and throw this ball down the field. If you're Buffalo today, you got to be aggressive. They've done great to start. Excellent calling by Dable to start this, the offensive coordinator for Buffalo, but keep staying aggressive.
Now with 3 wides. Allen. Now he's going down the field. He's got a man wide open, and it's a touchdown for the Bills. Jason Kroom. There was no one in that secondary at all, Tony, to your point.
Oh, you just got to keep doing it. Wait do you see this? It's a great screen fake. It's going to be like, oh, it's a screen. Nope, and Allen just soft touch down the sideline. Wonderful sales job by Kroom here. You'll see 80, and he's going to pretend like he's blocking, and Mike Hughes, the first-round picks, guarding him, and he goes for the bait, as you see the very quick replay there.
So Kroom, with his 5th catch of the season, his first NFL touchdown. He was an undrafted college free agent who signed a year ago out of Tennessee. And now Hauschka, we're not even 10 minutes into the game. And with that kick, it's 17-0 Buffalo.
The way to beat Minnesota in Minnesota, throw aggressively on early downs. Don't wait for 3rd down. Good job, Buffalo.
Remember, we said the Bills have been outscored 54-6 in the first half, scoring the first 2 weeks. Already was 17 in the first quarter. That's the most points by the Bills in the first quarter since a game back in 2011.
That's why you drafted Josh Allen. You want to see stats like that and be like, this is why the future can look bright. But we needed to see that, right, Jim? At some point, you got to see something, going in. I really liked this kid yesterday. We talked to him, didn't you?
Oh, tremendous. Got a great personality. And, he's so anxious to be able to show people that he wants to solidify that he's going to be their guy for a long, long time. But meantime, the miscues on Minnesota's part. It would have been a 3-and-out to start the game had it not been for that penalty. The helmet hit by Joseph, and then a couple of fumbles by the quarterback. Cousins getting no time. Both recovered by the Bills, and a 17-0 hole with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And now they just got to come out and hand the ball off. I mean, you can't continue. Yeah, just quick screens, hand the ball off, be smart.
That's Diggs, and he doesn't get that far.
Let your quarterback feel comfortable right now. I know it's, they're going to be okay. They're probably going to get themselves back in this game. But Cousins right now, you feel that. 2 fumbles in your own territory to start the game. Get him just some easy throws. Just hand it off, get some stuff, get some first downs here.
That's Boone. Nice move by Boone. He's got the Vikings' first down of the game.
See, just a natural, inside zone type play where quarterback from shotgun, you get the right look, you hand it off.
Undrafted college free agent signed by the Vikings by way of the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Let's go Yankee!
You see Hyde jumping up and now stepping back out of that secondary. First down from the 39.
Hey, let's go. Hey, 83. Hey, snap.
Still got plenty of time on the play clock. He moves the rookie to his left side. Now Cousins ready to go. Here comes the pressure. Lofts it over the head of Adam Thielen. But that was well covered by the Bills.
Well, the reason the throw makes it more difficult was a great job by White on the outside coming over to help, and there was really no spot there. It looked more open than it really was. It's good help. Thielen inside there.
There was a little bit of pressure coming up the middle by Tremaine Edmonds, number 49. He's just a young kid, drafted 16th overall, 20, the youngest linebacker to start in the NFL in the Super Bowl era. Here's a 2nd and 10. Over to Thielen. And again, brought down immediately by Lewis. Ryan Lewis was in camp with the New England Patriots, didn't make their roster, got waived, got picked up, and here he is on week 3 starting. You know, you've got Gaines out with the elbow, and of course that Vontae Davis debacle last week where he retired at halftime. So
just your run-of-the-mill retirement at halftime.
Exactly. And there's Gaines, who was questionable with that elbow injury, but unable to go. 3rd and 5. Another blitz package. Well protected, and the throw's not there.
Yeah, he just missed him. He was open. That right there is a byproduct of feeling the beginning of this game. Thielen was wide open as he comes across the field. Cousins just softer. Overshoots him.
So Minnesota picks up 1 first down. It's only first down so far, and will now have to punt. Cousins on 3rd down has been sacked twice and also added that incompletion on the previous play. Wild to punt. He had 1 block last week. Back deep is Micah Hyde. He'll stay away from it as it bounces out of bounds at about the 25. Brad's growing a little restless early. We got a flag out.
They should get restless. This is the worst start for a Minnesota team at home. I mean, this is not what they were expecting to see today.
During the kick, holding, kicking team, number 47. That 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
The holding call against the long snapper, Kevin McDermott. So Josh Allen's thrown for a touchdown, run for 1. He's got the ball back with a 17-0 lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by NFL Sunday Ticket, only on DirecTV. And by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
That's Tuesday. The Bills rookies surprising 150 local flag football players for an NFL flag clinic at New Era Field. As the rookies help show how the game can be fun and safe for all. And the rookie certainly having fun at the moment. Fakes the handoff. And it's going deep down the field to Foster, and he almost had it picked off by Waynes. Pass was a little underthrown as Robert Foster was trying to get behind this secondary.
Oh, he had him too, and this is when Josh Washington's gonna be like, man, I never underthrow these guys. He tried to be too perfect with the throw. Just overshoot him. Launch it down there. Show off your big arm. I'm completely okay if he throws an interception on something like that. You've got to be aggressive. When you're young, you let it go and you learn every time. He just taught himself there, let it go. Don't be safe with that throw. A little bit softer, and no, throw it.
You see Wayne shaking up. He should have had the pick, but you made that point in our open that you'd like to see him throw 2 or 3 interceptions today, and you meant that in a positive sense. Why don't you explain how that was relayed to you when you were a young quarterback?
Well, the thing is, you play so tentative, and so I saw on tape a little bit with Josh. He just felt like he was holding the ball a little bit, trying to be perfect and get you can't turn the ball over. You can never turn the ball over. But when you're young, you actually learn by turning the ball over. Now, you don't want to hurt your football team, but that's a 40-yard punt, basically. Be aggressive down the field. Throw it down the field. And when your coach tells you, hey, I want you to throw 2 picks today, you probably won't. But it frees you up to let the ball go and not hold on to it and get sacked.
And Parcells told you that?
That's exactly right.
2nd and 10. There's Ivory. Is swarmed for no gain. Sheldon Richardson, one of those to get to him, along with Daniil Hunter, and now 3rd and 10 coming up.
The most important thing for Buffalo this year, I mean, they may have a great year, may go on and win a bunch of games, they may not. It's the development of Josh Allen. This future, this franchise really is about his development, his ability to improve. And if they're winning a bunch of games, good. And if not, he needs to develop. He needs to make mistakes and learn, teach himself every time. Changing the protection. Anthony Barr coming up the middle, free safety, gotta get it go.
Allen steps up, jumps over the defenders to pick up the first. Now, how many quarterbacks have you ever seen hurdle anyone?
Nobody.
That might be a first.
Oh my goodness. Watch this.
This is a freak play.
Oh, no game.
No way.
Oh my.
Wow.
And you know, who did he jump over? He jumped over, was it Barr?
It's Barr.
It's Barr. That's bad for Barr in the meeting room on Monday.
That is something, just when you think you've seen everything in the NFL, that might have been a first. Sure, we've seen goal line situations where players have flown in over the top, but hurdling?
He beat Barr to the end zone earlier for the touchdown run, too.
So on first down, pressure, trying to get away, and he's taken down at the 38 by Hunter.
Well, right here, the left tackle, Hunter's just going to go ahead and take Dawkins right into the quarterback. And this is where I want to see Josh feel that and let that ball go, because, you know, that's where you're like, that sixth sense almost, that little ability to be like, I don't have any more time, let it go. He tried to move just a hair late.
That's a loss of 7.
That's a great pass rush by Hunter right there.
Last minute of a shocking first quarter here in Minneapolis. 2nd and 17. Allen gets away from Hunter, trying to anyway. Oh, finds Ivory.
No one's there.
Now there's some players down at the 10. He tries to split him, and he's down to the 5. The whole field was open except down around the 10-yard line.
Well, he's the running back, and Allen just, everyone else is on the other side of the field, and I'm thinking he's going to try and throw it all the way back across. There's nobody within 50 yards of Ivory.
As a 55-yard pass play to Ivory, giving Allen 120 yards in the first quarter, which has come to an end. The 17 points ties the most the Vikings have ever allowed at home in a first quarter, ever.
Oh, my.
And the Bills are set up at the 5 when the second begins in a moment. 143 yards to 22. And the Bills are set up, call it at the 6, coming off of Chris Ivory's longest career reception, 55 yards. A first quarter where we learned that Josh Allen can throw it, he can run, he can fly, and he can hurdle. And now can he find the end zone again to start the second? Oh, here's a miscue. Ball on the ground, and Allen falls on it all the way back at the 18. That was Murphy and Allen having a little miscommunication.
Well, yeah, this is where you got to snap it sooner. So Josh is trying to be perfect with this. It's a pass to him. He's going to throw it. But Murphy has to slow down. He knows he's getting the ball, but it is an incomplete pass. To me, that should be incomplete, and it should be all the way back to where it was. That's a pass. That's not a run.
And that's what McDermott's saying, incomplete pass. I mean, it goes always as a shuffle pass.
This has got to come back. I mean,
it's a big call. I mean, if you're going to...
Oh, yeah, you're at the 5, basically, 6. Or
Ruling
you're
on the field is a fumble. Second down.
Now, throw the flag.
So Alex Kidd says ruling on the field is a fumble, and McDermott's got to reach for that challenge flag.
Yeah, it's a pass. Watch. Unless this hits him right there. That's a pass. Throw the flag, Sean.
Got to challenge it.
Throw it.
You better hurry if you're going to do it. There you go. The team was at the line in formation, and now they'll get a chance to, you would think, win the challenge and have a 12-yard difference.
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field. Timeout.
Oh, we'll take a look at this.
It's a pass, even though it's not a very accurate one. Right.
Back in Minnesota, here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field of a fumble is confirmed. It will be second down. Buffalo is charged with a timeout, and they're charged with a challenge. They have one remaining.
All right, let's bring in Gene Steratore back in the studio quickly. Gene, you didn't see it that way, did you?
No, I didn't see it completely that way, Jim, and here's why. He does possess the ball with both hands after he receives the shotgun snap. The arm does move forward. I know it's brief, but by rule, possession, forward movement of the arm, that's a legal forward pass by definition.
Okay, goes the other way against Buffalo. Second and goal back at the 18. Is Allen as players around him, spins away, and now tries to deliver a stiff arm, and that's a horse collar tackle against Minnesota. And Anthony Barr
wants no part of Josh Allen in the open space.
He's run past him for a touchdown. He's hurdled him.
He's now got another 15-yard penalty on him. Look at, he gets stiffed arm. That is definitely a horse collar.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 55. After this is the goal line, automatic first down.
That horse collar tackle is the most dangerous tackle in the sport, perhaps. I mean, because it always is accompanied with taking the legs out with it, too. And Barr and Minnesota now, the Vikings with a fourth personal foul call.
Good, sorry.
After all that, with the review and everything, it's back to first and goal at the 8.
Minnesota's got to stand up right here. You cannot let them get a touchdown here. This is, keep it to a 3-score game. You're in this, don't let them get to 24. This is huge.
Ivory off left tackle down to about the 4.
So last week with Cousins there, 20-9.
Going into the 4th.
Going into the 4th. Look at that great graphic. 22 yards by the quarterback and 22 for the other team.
And he's thrown for 120 on top of it.
It's one quarter. We don't need to throw. At 4 quarters when he's tied with the other team, then we'll talk about it.
Second and goal. Is incomplete, almost reeled in by Charles Clay. Sendejo took away some of the arm.
Well, it's a great job of selling the play by Clay as he gets outside. Oh, just outstretched.
Pass was there.
It's a perfect throw. I mean, Josh Allen is playing a perfect football game at this point. It's really outstanding.
He faces third and goal at the Minnesota 4. Here's Allen. Flings it near the goal line. It is caught. And they're going to say about a foot short is Andre Holmes. And that one's going to be worth looking at, too.
What a perfect spot with the ball. There's almost no one to watch right here. Barr right back up the middle. You see him trying. Look at it. He's already.
Where did he catch it?
Oh, we need to look at this. That might be a touchdown.
That's all. Well, he had to go back and repossess it.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
So fourth and goal, they're going for it.
It's a good call there. He didn't have possession, so he couldn't have been in the end.
Had he held on initially, it looked like it was a touchdown, but he had to re-grab it. McDermott's coming down the line and looked like he might call a timeout, but he signaled for one.
It's a timeout.
There he is at the top. You see him.
Before the flag was thrown, timeout, Buffalo. They're second.
So here we go. I think what Coach McDermott, he wanted to see, just by the time he gets possession, look at this throw. Rocket right on that back hip. It's a perfect spot with the ball if you have to throw it.
The ball was kind of bouncing around. You see, he caught it with his body a little bit, too. And I know that gives him another chance to look at it, but look, they're going to go for it here on fourth and goal from the 1. And the last time there was a fourth and goal, here's one for you, a fourth and goal at the 1 at this end zone was run. It was the Philly special in the Super Bowl.
Wow. I don't think you're seeing that here.
But a little history on this play at this end. Let's see if the Bills can do something. Over the top goes Allen.
Touchdown.
They break the plane. He did. Touchdown, Buffalo.
You know what's crazy is that play seems so simple, but defensively, if you're not prepared for it, I mean, you could stop him instantly if you're prepared for it. If you're not ready for that, like the linebacker right there's hands should be up. You could pop that ball out, fumble, you could do a lot of stuff, but
no question about it. It's a touchdown. His second rush touchdown to go along with a touchdown pass.
I mean, think about the amount of airtime he's had today.
He's pretty good leaving his feet, isn't he?
Wow, big drive, 24-0.
Touchdown makes it 23-0. Tacks on another point. There's a lot of talk about, hey, he's a rookie. If he can learn how to use his feet, they were talking about in his throwing motion. Well, he's figured out how to use his feet today for this massive lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. McDonald's. And by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925.
And a look inside the Minneapolis Institute of Art, just about 2 miles from the stadium here. One of the largest art museums in the country. How about Josh Allen and what he's done so far in this game? I know a lot of folks out there started him in their fantasy leagues this week. Right. And how about knockout pools? I know he's still got a long way to go, but there's so many people right now that are looking up and saying, what? Buffalo 24-0, and folks, they're doing it in all phases as they make a special teams tackle right here. But a flag is out.
If this is on Minnesota again, I mean, how many flags does Minnesota have to start this game? This is so many.
During the return, holding, return team number 50.
Fifth.
Half the distance to the goal line. First down, Minnesota.
It's just killing them. But you see Josh Allen at the start of this game, everyone wants to see him watch some of the stuff. He looks and then he gets out of the pocket quickly. Instead of just holding it and waiting, like you saw on tape a little bit, he's deciding to make a decision. Now watch this. He's going to reset the safety with his eyes right there and then go back outside where he initially faked it. That's impressive. Really well done, over the top of the pile. He's played a perfect quarter and a half of football so far.
Here are the Vikings. Cousins in the end zone, unloads it. And the ball gets out to about the 11 with Treadwell. 1 first down so far for Minnesota. 25 total yards. Cousins gets it over to Rudolph. Wrapped up and stopped about a yard short of the first. We'll check another flag. I guess they picked up the flag. Tomorrow on CBS, one name says it all, Magnum. That's Magnum PI. The series premiere is tomorrow, 9/8 Central, only CBS. Pat Elflein, who was inactive last week, to snap it back here, the center, on 3rd and 1. Pressure, they get to him again, back at the 6. Kyle Williams finishes him off. It was Hughes who had the first contact. And the longtime Bill, Kyle Williams, able to take him down all the way back at the 6-yard line. The 3rd sack by the Bills. All of them have come on 3rd down.
Well, Hughes makes him step up in the pocket, so Cousins can't go backwards as Hughes goes around the edge. And then Kyle Williams with a great move to get himself free on Mike Remmers.
Wild punts from 3 yards deep in the end zone. Not a long kick, bounces at its own 48. And again, the Bills will start with a short field. Yeah, you're not the only one shaking your head right now. You're the one that's doing it too. 24-0. This drive begins from the Vikings 48 with Allen out of the shotgun. Ivory the running back. And Allen keeps it. And a flag's thrown in the secondary as he dove for about 7.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Russell Modine, here's the timeline on Josh Allen's travels, Tony. Out of Fireball High School in the Central Valley of California. He went to Reedley College, lasted a semester there, then transferred to Wyoming. 3 years for the Cowboys, 7th overall pick, and here we are, raised on a farm/ranch in Fireball. His grandfather donated the land that was the site for the high school and the high school football field where his father was a quarterback before he got hurt, and where Josh would start on the field as well. So that's a spot foul, 1st and 14. And that's Murphy back to the Minnesota side of the field. It was fascinating finding out how he learned to throw a football. He's really the natural in many ways.
You know, he just picked up rocks.
Picked up rocks on the farm.
I was like, how'd you figure out how to throw? What'd he say?
I'd pick up a rock and I'd throw it like 35 yards. Some of them were heavy, into a dumpster.
And he said, that's how I learned to throw football. I said, so just throw some rocks into a dumpster, and all of a sudden you'll be a top 10 pick in the draft.
Easy.
He's a great kid. Anybody who gets to know him, you're going to like him. He's got such an infectious attitude, loves the game of football.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Root for guys like this.
Yes, you do. As Murphy is out at the 45. For more on Josh Allen, let's go to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you mentioned it. He spent a semester at Reedley, threw 25 passes, just 4 interceptions, but still no one noticed him. He took it upon himself, sent out about 1,000 emails to every head coach and coordinator in the country. Just 2 schools responded, Eastern Michigan and Wyoming. And finally, he was signed by Craig Bohl, who also coached Carson Wentz, guys.
He sent out 1,000 emails? That's impressive.
You haven't done that in your lifetime.
I say I haven't sent out 2 emails.
3rd and 6. The pass, it's there. Benjamin holds on. And he grabbed it with 2 hands. Mike Zimmer hovering in the area. Looked like he was reaching for a challenge flag.
I love it. Look at this. They're blitzing. Just take them all off the field. Show off your arm and just throw it. Boom. And the ball comes out right there at the end. But I think it's still ended up just a catch. Look at, just run. You're covered, but you're not covered because the ball's in a perfect spot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the ball came out.
That's why you saw Zimmer reaching around. Did they get the snap away before there's a flag out? They do, so it's in the books. Penalty flag is down as Allen goes deep. Allen to the end zone, and it's over the head of Benjamin.
Love it, though. Keep throwing it every time. In Minnesota, you got to start to understand that. Give them a little room outside. Probably usually illegal formation on this stuff.
Illegal formation. Offense. Too many men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report with JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. All the scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Kirk Cousins, 5 for 8, 20 yards, been sacked 3 times. Twice stripped of the football, recovered by the Bills on both occasions. There's a 1st and 15, and that pass through the hands of Ivory. Halfway through the 2nd quarter. Let's go back to the studio for an update. Here's JB and Phil.
Breeze on top.
This is an update that's worth it. Drew Brees throws 17 yards to Michael Thomas. He breaks Brett Favre's record for the most completions in NFL history, 6,301. Back to Jim. How about that, Tony and Tracy Wolfson?
Yeah, how about it here, too? Good for Drees. We're going to see him next week. That's our doubleheader game. The Saints at the Giants on CBS. Thank you, Phil. 2nd and 15. And Allen put some air under this one. And did he get the second foot down? That's Holmes.
I think he's going to be out of bounds, but I love that. You see he's about to get hit again, and it's a safe throw on the sideline. He's letting it go today. This is going to be up in the air. Mike Hughes, first-round pick. Holmes, he gets one in, not the second. But that's what I'm looking for from the winning. They're going to win if they can do this, but I love that. That shows me something on Josh Allen right there. He's learning. He's teaching himself right now, every game, every rep.
By the way, Trey Waynes, who got injured on that near interception on the deep throw, he has not returned out with an ankle. So Hughes and Alexander are both out there. 3rd and 15. Here's Allen. Flag is out, and he gets it a little closer for a long Hauschka field goal try, but we'll wait on the flag first. Chased down by Weatherly.
Yeah, it's a screen pass that he thought was covered. Take him back. They're in field goal range.
Yep, it would have otherwise been like a 50-yard field goal try.
He's determining right now. He goes, oh, this is the toughest spot here. It's like 54 yards. Okay,
illegal formation, offense. Too many men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The ball back at the 42, Tony.
So this right here is where you're telling your quarterback as a coordinator, you go, we got to get 5 yards for a field goal. Forget about the first down. We're not trying to get a first down here. If it happens, fine. As you see the offensive coordinator, Brian Dable right there for the Bills, who's called an excellent game today. Throw a slant. Give me something that gets you 5 to 10 yards.
Hauschka's career long is 58. There's Allen back to field goal range. Be about a 50-yard try coming up as Benjamin.
Outstanding play call and outstanding decision by the quarterback there. That is a winning play that no one really thinks about, but you just got 6 yards. It's like, oh, it's 3rd and 20. It's terrible. It's outstanding. You give yourself a field goal attempt, much more likely to make this, obviously, than 10 yards back.
It will be 50 for Hauschka. He's made one from 30 in this game already. 4 for 5 on the season. 4th best field goal percentage all time. From 50 yards out. The kick is long enough, and it's good. And increase that lead now to 27-0 Bills. We're back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive. So this time on a short field, they pick up a first down. They have to go back and play 3rd down all over again. They get the pass play to Benjamin. Rhodes and Coach Zimmer weren't too pleased after the catch by Benjamin. They had a little exchange of words. It ends up with a Hauschka field goal, and you keep thinking, when is Minnesota going to do something that creates a spark?
There's been 0 spark at this point.
Aldrick Robinson is back deep. They just signed him this week. Wide receiver. He used to be a teammate of Cousins at Washington.
You know, right now, the hard part is that Buffalo knows you're going to have to pass, okay? You're going to be one-dimensional, obviously, from this point on. And so they're able to play soft, and you're seeing these 5-yard passes underneath, and you rally and tackle, and it makes the quarterback get antsy. It's just, you know, you just got to take it. They give you Kirk and the coordinator's got to come up with a play action that gets you a chunk play here early in this drive.
He's a speedster, Robinson, and he's only out to about the 18. Again, well covered up by the Bills special team. Saturday, the best game for the best conference. Tennessee takes on 2nd-ranked Georgia. The Vols and their new head coach, Jeremy Pruitt, look to avenge a tough loss last year against the Bulldogs. College football today kicks off the day at 3 Eastern on CBS. Here's Murray. Bills there and a tackle for a loss, including Tremaine Edmonds, the rookie linebacker. That's a loss of 1. That's what they'll do with the forward progress. The Vikings possession chart, it's pretty grim.
I'd say so. Fumble, fumble, punt, punt. 40 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Thanks for playing today, guys. You guys have been out there for 4.5 minutes this half.
No Dalvin Cook, out with a hamstring.
Hey, loco.
2nd and 11. Cousins got a completion out at the 20 to Diggs.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, Buffalo's going to give you the 5-yarders now and just rally and tackle. And, you know, it's just a normal cover 2 on that. And you're going to have to find ways to be aggressive here. I think if you just go down and score 1 touchdown right here, it would do a lot for everyone's confidence here in Minnesota, because this stadium is shocked right now.
And I think everyone seeing this score or watching this game across the country is as well. Can they pick up just their 2nd first down of the day on 3rd and 7? Cousins incomplete. Intended for Thielen.
It's a pretty good ball. The problem is, you know, it's still going to be short even if he catches it of the first down. It's 3rd and 7. Bills are just gaining confidence every play here. Minnesota is gaining less confidence every play here.
McLeod back deep. The Vikings, who had 480 yards of offense last week, have 26 today. Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. Favorable bounce. It'll change field position. That's about the only thing that's gone right the entire first half for the Vikings. And that was a punt that bounced the right way for 70 yards by Matt Weil. And it was not the right decision for Ray McLeod, the returner for the Bills.
Oh, it's a killer. I mean, if he goes up and fair catches it, look at right here. He's like, it's a 40-yard line. It's a 30-yard difference, basically.
Weil's career-long punt of 70 sets the Bills back at the 10. And it's Ivory darting ahead and fighting forward for a gain of 4.
Look at. And he knows it right there. You see McLeod. The ball was in the air so long. You got to be able to judge that and get up there and, you know, just fair catch it.
Kermit comes over, taps the helmet of the rookie.
That's when you know you've got a pretty good sized lead, 27-0, and you're like, hey, come on, now we got to get this one. Because if it's the other way, he's like, are you kidding me? We went over this 10 times.
2nd and 6. Allen, they were closing in on him. He's going for the deep ball, and it went right through the hands of Foster.
That was perfect. Oh. This is where they're starting to utilize Allen's talents. Look at this, Foster. You've got to catch it. That ball is so perfect. He short arms it, just. And Allen throws it. He's like, oh boy.
That was a rookie on rookie. Mike Hughes, the first rounder for the Vikings on coverage, but he was beaten by a step by Foster, and the pass was perfect. Would have gone for 50 plus. Instead, it's 3rd and 6.
Got to be smart here once again. Josh, no turnovers. Get this ball out of your hand.
Looking deep again. Now looking for options. There's open room. That little pump fake gives him enough space to pick up the first down.
Boy, he's fast. Everyone's covered. If you're going to look anywhere across the field, you're not going to find a guy open here. And Allen does a great job looking across the field and then making something happen with his feet, which is big. For the number of times in a game that people are covered, it's not that often where all the guys are covered. That's why the best quarterbacks get through all the progressions and find the one guy. But when they are, and you have the ability to move like that, huge advantage.
Allen now has 37 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns rushing. And that's Ivory. picked up and pushed back after 4. Quarterback comparison so far in this game. Josh Allen accounting for 183 yards of offense.
Yeah, and he probably could have 200 yards passing if that one catch on the sideline by Foster just happened a second ago, and then another 1 or 2 on the sideline as well earlier. Drop slant, drop down outside.
2nd and 6. 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Pass caught. Keeping his balance is Holmes. And then Smith shoves him out. But yes, it's another first down for Buffalo. And a gain of 22. And you see how Coach McDermott's going to play it here. He's going to let this thing run down to the 2-minute warning. What a first half he's coached these Bills to. 2-minute warning in Minnesota.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
2 minutes to go in the first half. The Bills have 1 timeout. And they have a first down at the 48. 13 first downs to only 1. Handoff. Ivory stacked up. Only a gain of a couple. You alluded to it just a few minutes ago. You thought, at what point do you see Minnesota do something right? And that may not happen here unless somehow they get the ball back before halftime. Doesn't appear they will. Nothing to speak of in the first half.
It's been as bad a half as the score indicates. Really, Buffalo has dominated all 3 phases. There's nothing that you'd sit here and say, oh, Minnesota didn't get a break here or there. It's just one team is ready to play and the other team isn't. It's almost that simple. We talked to offense coordinator John DeFilippo, and he talked about it. Flip is his name. And he said, you know what the most concerning thing is? Our team and our mindset going into this. Are we taking Buffalo seriously? And I think they...
Illegal formation, offense. Wide receiver covered up the tight end. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So it's the 3rd pre-snap penalty on the Bills offense, but I think they all were concerned. You come off the big rivalry game last week and the letdown of a missed kick at the end of overtime to win the game, and then you know you've got to go play on Thursday night on the road against the Rams, a team you might be jockeying with for NFC supremacy, and at the end of the year, who knows? This was, as you said, a classic trap game for the Vikings.
100%, and it's the worst thing is coming off of Green Bay and having the Rams next week on a short week. It's like it's a trap game in general, but then it's like a double trap feeling because of the opponents that you're playing the week before and after. And you're seeing it right now. It's just this was not quite as physical as they.
Look at this run by Murphy. Inside of a yard away from the first, but I think another flag is out. It was a 12-yard run, but coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
So Jordan Mills this time flagged for it.
You see Mills grab Barr right here. Barr sells it even better. A little bit of a hold there, but could have gone either way.
See what the Vikings now, what they do as far as the timeout strategy. They got all 3 of them remaining.
You need to use them. I'm coming after you here trying to get an incompletion. I'd come after you, get the ball out of his hands fast. I mean, what are you protecting at this point? And if you're Buffalo, just hand this off, make them use the timeouts. Their first downs are not.
That's Murphy. He races ahead for a gain of about 6, and there the Vikings use their first timeout. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and the crew will take you all around the league. Scores and highlights. Tennessee and Jacksonville, low-scoring affair. Giants up big early on the Texans, and Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City pick up right where they've left off the last couple of weeks, up big on San Francisco. This year of the young quarterbacks around the league, we've seen it every week. We saw it on Thursday night. We're seeing it today.
You're seeing the shift a little bit. You know, when all of a sudden that class comes in, you saw it with that Peyton, Tom Brady kind of era. They came on and really took a hold of that position for a long period of time. You saw Eli, Roethlisberger, Rivers era. You know, there's a guy, you got a timeout by Buffalo right here. And now you got Mayfield, Darnold, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
And you're just talking the AFC, those four.
That's just the AFC. I mean, you still got Rodgers, you still got Breeze, Brady, but other than Rodgers, you know, the other ones are all getting up there. Roethlisberger, Rivers, Eli, just, you're seeing the young talent come in. You got Carson Wentz over there in the NFC. We'll see. This is going to be real fun for the NFL because I couldn't tell you right now of all these young guys who's the best. It's just too early. Some of them are in better situations. You'd think Josh is in one of the toughest spots right here, and he's showing you today. He's got a high skill level too.
They'll run it on 3rd and 12 as Richardson wraps up the ball carrier, Ivory, and the Vikings are down to 1 timeout as they use another one here. Cousins loosening up. He'll get a chance to do a little something here before the intermission. Corey Bajorquez is going to have a chance to punt for the first time for the Bills. Rookie from University of New Mexico. Mike Hughes is the returner. Left-footed booter sends it down inside the 20. Bounces at the 11, comes back. Somebody from the Bills should be there downing it, and let it get all the way out to about the 19. Then was it? Yep, picked up as he can. Hughes. Some frustrations coming out right now. After a 31-yard punt. You know, you thought it might be with Phillip Gaines down. You thought it might be a big day for the likes of Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. They got 3 catches between them for 12 yards. Now, if Cousins could do a little something here before the intermission, maybe change a little bit of the attitude. Just a little bit.
You need something to go your way. I mean, at least get a first down.
That tackle completed way outside the boundary.
I mean, they're look at the struggle for 3 yards. Wow, he's hurt.
Ramon Humbert with the hit on Diggs. No one here likes this play.
You got to look at
defender.
You got to look at the concussion aspect. Look at this right here. Boom. See the head? They got to at least go talk to him on the sideline. So watch right there. Boom. So that's Minnesota's 3rd timeout then, because the injured player.
Yeah, to make matters worse, there are those that thought that was a little unnecessary roughness on that tackle that far off the field.
Well, yeah.
And then to make matters worse, as I say, Minnesota gets charged its final timeout.
All right, Minnesota. You got to get aggressive down the field a little bit here. Stand in the pocket, slide, fire something in there, 15 yards.
Cousins throws and incomplete. That was Rudolph trying to scrape it off the ground. 3rd and 7. No question about that. The right tackle, Rashad Hill, is down and injured. He got knocked out of the game at Green Bay last week with an ankle and foot injury that brought in rookie Brian O'Neill. And Diggs, after one play sitting out, has been cleared to come right back out, I guess. As I see him in the huddle. Yeah, that's the same foot that was injured last week. So Hill limps to the sideline, and O'Neal will replace him. This was a Minnesota team that, Tony, we came up here thinking this might be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl when we're down in Atlanta in early February to call it. But they looked anything like that.
But who's out today? Griffin, their best defensive player.
And Cook, their best running back.
Their best running back. I mean, this is obviously a horrendous half of football in so many different ways, but this is not the Vikings team you're seeing today. They'll be back, but today's still not even over. You get a play here, something for 20 yards. There's a lot of time left. You're at home.
3rd and 7. And that picks up the first. Now they can hurry to the line. Thielen.
Hurry up to the line, throw to the sideline for 10 yards.
Thielen's second catch goes for 8.
You're trying to throw a Hail Mary around the 45. Got to snap this, though. Just throw to your running back in the flat.
Cousins again takes what they give him across the middle. Thielen.
That's halftime.
Yeah. Only to the 39. Time running out. And that makes the fans even more frustrated as they spike it too late. The biggest favorite in the NFL in years. I'm favored by more than 2 touchdowns.
I actually thought it'd be 27-0 at half.
You told me that.
I just didn't think it'd be 27 Buffalo, 0 Minnesota. This is really a shocker.
What a performance by the Bills. 27-0 at halftime. And halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Back in Minneapolis, the Vikings will be receiving the second half kickoff. Let's take a look at the first half highlight presented by DirecTV. There's so many, but how do you top this? Allen over Barr, hurdling for the first down.
I haven't seen that too many times, I can tell you that.
Maybe ever.
Maybe ever. I'm trying to think of a Cam Newton type play at some point, but you brought it up. Yes. Maybe in the end zone. But
it's in goal line situation, but middle of the field.
Running for 10 straight yards and then doing it.
And then 6'5", leaping like that's pretty amazing.
Over Barr, 6'5", yeah.
Yeah, over another player, 6'5". So here we go, second half. The Vikings get the football first. This game's not over.
No, this game is definitely not over. The fact that Minnesota's at home, and they probably did not have a very comfortable locker room experience with Coach Zimmer there for the last 15 minutes. I think you're going to come out and see Minnesota be very aggressive on both sides of the ball. And if you're Buffalo, stay aggressive, don't play soft. You got to continue to keep your foot down. And Minnesota ultimately just needs a score. They just need one score. The ball usually has a way of bouncing to make these games get back close, especially when you have the talent that the Vikings do.
No better time if you're a Viking fan than seeing them do something on this first series to start the second half and establish that mentally they're capable of getting back into this game.
Well, we talk about their defense all the time, but to me, the offense has been really, really bad in the first half. Everything looks so hard for 4 yards.
You mean you don't think they're happy with 46 yards total offense?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a touch lower than they thought they'd be.
Yeah. That one skips up into the hands of Hughes. And there's contact at the 20, and they got helmets on them. 3 of them in all, including Lacey. And they'll start at about the 21 or 2 yard line. Let's bring in Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Jim. At one point in that second quarter, Mike Zimmer looked up at the scoreboard and he said, oh my God, it's 27-0. Well, I spoke with him coming out of the half and he said it's not really necessarily what Buffalo's doing, it's what they're doing. It's the penalties, it's the mistakes, it's not blocking. He told them in the half, we need to do this one step at a time. Jim?
Well, here's the first step, Tracy. Out of the gun, empty backfield, Cousins to Thielen for 9.
And you see them get right out in empty formation. It's exactly, they need to be aggressive. They need a touchdown, spread this game out, get no huddle, exactly right what they're doing. You can still hand the ball off here. You can give it to your running back left if you want, but you got to get up and go quick.
And a little miscue. Cousins dives down and a loss of about 4. Sets up 3rd and 5.
Well, that was a cakewalk first down. They're just going to hand the ball off. They're probably going to get 7 or 8 yards on that play. And this is exactly what Zimmer was talking about. Just self-imposed mistakes over and over again throughout this football game.
Go from a certain first down to where you've got to get a hard-earned first down.
Black 80.
To the 32 for a first. Cousins. Thielen is knocked down hard by Tre'Davious White, short of the first. And a flag is out on the hit. McDermott says no way.
Personal foul, defense number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So he leads with the shoulder, but the 2 helmets do make contact. You can see he's trying to. That's
trying to avoid it, but there was contact.
But there was contact.
And remember how this game started the other way around? Looked like a stop.
Exactly right.
And then there was a personal foul penalty on the helmet hit on
Joseph, right?
Yep, on
Start the
Clint
game.
Ball Joseph.
That gives you life right there.
Hey, move.
Another empty formation.
And that's only for a couple, give about 3. Micah Hyde, who's no stranger to playing against the Vikings. Used to see him twice a year when he was over at Green Bay.
Well, you're going to see Thielen and Diggs. Look at right here. You see Thielen and Diggs are both lined up inside. Well, that's a linebacker up top, and you see the quarterback just is going to work that over and over again. That is a matchup that I think you're going to see a lot in the second half. That's an adjustment of Minnesota's offense. Well done so far.
2nd and 6. The Vikings a yard away from crossing midfield for the first time in this game. And they may have just inched it across with that little dump off pass to Boone that was not worth much. No, they mark it still on the other side of the 50.
Plays in opponent territory, 22-0, and they're going to be in this territory. No, they are not going to be in the territory yet.
And they need to, again, pick up on a 3rd and 6. They picked up on 3rd and 5 off the penalty. Blitz. Cousins again is in trouble, and Milano wrestles him down. How about this pressure put up by the Buffalo defense?
Outstanding design defensively by Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier. You see Boone just come over there, and that's a terrible block. You see how he just tries to put his shoulder into him as if that's going to stop him completely. Hughes again with the pressure from the outside that makes him come up.
What a tackle. And the 4th time that Cousins has been sacked today, all of them coming on 3rd down. And the drive fizzles out again near midfield.
But this is how Buffalo's defense looked in the second half last week. They looked really good. They're flying around. They look physical.
This one bounds into the end zone, so just a net of about 38. Josh Allen, after a tremendous first half, he'll have his first possession of the second half when we come back. We're back here in Minneapolis, where the Bills break huddle, and we'll take this first snap of the 3rd quarter for them at the 20. Their largest lead at halftime in 3 years. Ball's on the ground, and Allen's able to scoop it up and reel it back in. And Tracy, special halftime ceremony here in the stadium.
That's right, Jim, and it's Alumni Day for the Vikings, as close to 80 former players were here, so many of them who played for former head coach Dennis Green, who at halftime was inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor. His wife and his children were on hand as they unveiled his name. An emotional, wonderful moment for this organization and his family, Jim.
Yes, it was the late Denny Green going into the Ring of Honor here in Minnesota. Play action. Allen tries to sell it. He's got no time as Weatherly gets him back at the 11. Second sack for the Minnesota defense. Loss of 7.
So as you're see a great rush, it's just, you know, your head's up on Lee, the tight end. He's trying to block, you know, Weatherly. You just can't. But watch here, safeties. This is the adjustment you're seeing. See how there's 2 guys deep now? Throughout the whole first half, there's 1 guy deep for the most of the plays in the first half. Minnesota has now adjusted, saying, we're done letting you take shots down the field. You are going to have to beat us underneath and read and progress things out. That is exactly how you have to play against big arm quarterbacks today. They're doing it a hair late.
Russell Bodine, the former Bengal center, who's been alternating in part these first 3 games with Ryan Groh. He's going to hobble off. Ryan Groy, I should say, who has been locked in a very good battle for that starting position at center. This offensive line that went through a lot of changes. They lost, of course, Eric Wood retired. Richie Incognito retired. Cordy Glenn was lost during the course of last season, but the starting offensive line versus the start of last year, 3 different faces.
That's a classic offensive lineman. He's like, no, get out of here. I don't want anyone. I'm tough. I don't want the world to think I'm not. Look at his. He's cramped up right there.
Now, this is what we talk about, too. As far as late in the season, when they got into the playoffs for the first time since '99,
yep.
They made changes from the end of last year to the start of this year, including the young left tackle, Dion Dawkins.
Got to hand the ball off here. You don't want your guy having to do too much right here. Crowd starting to get back into it.
3rd and 18, the running play with Ivory. It's a little room for him, picks up about 6.
And Minnesota's willing to give that up. 2 high safeties again that we just talked about. They're not going to let him throw the ball down the field, which is a great problem to have if you're Buffalo and you're like, wow, they're starting to play us on early downs. That's going to help the run game. Buffalo's got life. They're able to continue and finish this football game going forward.
Bojorquez punted just 1 time. That was in the final minute of the first half. Went 31 yards. This one short also. Mishandled. Hughes lost it. Flag is out. Kind of nonchalantly approached that punt that didn't have a lot of air under it. And is recovered by the Vikings.
This is hard. I mean, there's so many miscues, so many penalties, flags, fumbles. I mean, how many times has the ball been on the ground for Minnesota? And they are not. Look at Zim. He knows that his football team right now is not mentally in it.
Illegal block in the back. Kicking team number 30. That 10-yard penalty is added to the end of the kick. First down, Minnesota.
And guess what? The Vikings will take a snap from the Buffalo side of the field for the first time in this game. That's a lucky break there that he recovered it, but penalty.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by the new super powerful Samsung Galaxy Note 9.
Finally, a short field for the Vikings. From the Bills' 42, here's Cousins. Going for it right away. To the end zone, and it could have been a touchdown. But the ball comes out. Diggs had a hand on it. 2 Bills defenders around him, including Tre'Davious White.
What a play by White, though. See that right there? Just gets his hands on and touches him. Boy, that's makes me think you got to come down with that, Diggs. Perfect ball by Cousins. Look at that. I mean, oof. That was not an easy throw, and he made it look pretty easy.
His longest completion of the game for Cousins. 9 yards. Now on 2nd and 10. Middle of the field, ball up in the air. Did it ever hit the ground?
Yes, that's intercepted.
Never hit the ground. Milano already has a fumble recovery.
Oh my.
Has an interception. Has got a sack as well. What a stat line he's putting up.
So Cousins feeling the pressure again from the left side. Kind of a rough decision, but that ball doesn't even get close to the ground. It just falls into his lap on the ground. Look at that perfect hit.
Boy, did Murray get walloped. And look at him use the legs. He kicks it to himself.
Tremaine Edmonds with a big hit. Couldn't go worse for Minnesota. You're going to see the hit by Edmonds right there, and this ball goes up, and Milano's like, I'm going to kick it to myself. And just tappy tap right into your belly. Go!
Little play action, bootleg. Allen across the body, finds Benjamin, out to the 41. And a gain of about 7. Cousins has turned it over 3 times today. 2 fumbles lost and a pick.
That's really, I mean, we could talk about the defense in Minnesota, but it's the offense that's the reason they're losing this football game. The same with Buffalo. Buffalo was asked to be, they were on a short field every time I turned the tape on. You know, in that first game, it was like, oh, look at that. They're at the 20-yard line again against Buffalo's defense. Same thing is happening to Minnesota's defense today.
And Ivory hit by the ankles early, but was able to keep his balance, pick up a first down. So, yeah, Minnesota 3 giveaways and 3 first downs. Hard to believe.
It really is, and that's, you know, just lack of execution and multiple reasons for it. But you got to give Buffalo credit too. I mean, they came in here believing they could win, and that stems from their head coach Sean McDermott instilling in those players. You know, everyone else tells you got no chance. This is the NFL. You always got a chance, and that head coach right there, you know, he's going to get those guys ready. Gave them all a quote, man in the arena.
That's it.
Teddy Roosevelt this week.
They mentioned that to us last night as Murphy tries to turn the corner. Yeah, the man in the arena, the famous Ted Roosevelt speech to this team, because as the coach knew, everyone in the country was looking at his team like they might be the 32nd team in the league.
Well, yeah, they were on, I mean, they were the new Cleveland Browns after 2 weeks, weren't they? I mean,
yeah.
You just thought there's no way they could win a game. I mean, through 2 weeks, they were on the record pace for being the worst football team, point differential ever.
Well, their offense was 36 overall, 32nd.
36?
32nd.
No, if they're 36, it's even worse than I thought.
32nd, both total offense and passing offense. It sure looked like it, didn't it?
It's not that far off.
No. But
completely different today, though, right?
Oh, and without McCoy. 2nd and 5.
By the way, this is Minnesota's defense on the field, and we're talking as if we're out on the football field. There's not a fan trying to make noise right now for Buffalo's offense. They've completely turned the stadium into a home field. Look at, she's super excited about how this game is going.
I think everybody's just in a daze. Look at them.
That's 3 times that I tried to get tickets, and this is the one I got.
Yeah. Go! Allen stacked up, fighting for it. I'd say the second effort is going to be close. I'm not sure he quite got there.
Depends on which guy gets the ball. Is it going to be down here, or does he get the ball? If it's up top, it's a first down. Yep, now it's a first.
Still close. Still close. It goes to show you the strength of Allen, though. Oh, yeah, that looks like based on that, he'll have it.
I always used to look on some of those really close ones, and I would get in the way when he's trying to throw to the ref who's further back. Like, nope, throw it to that ref right there.
First down. McDermott saying, I want to see how this young team handles it. He knew it was going to be a hostile environment. Of course, we haven't had a chance to see it be all that hostile. They've taken the crowd out of the game, but he knew this was truly, as he turned it, just backs to the wall off those 2 weeks. Coming in here and taking on a team that everybody's been raving about. Could have been 2-0, but Vikings were 1-0-1. And
I mean, Coach McDermott, the hardest thing to do as a coach is you see Sean McCoy right there. The hardest thing to do is to keep the faith of all these players that we're going to be fine. We're building something here. He kept talking about foundation. He's right. He's building a culture and foundation that's not predicated on just winning, losing. It's about winning, okay? It's always about winning. But you got to build something to consistently win. And that's really what he's trying to do.
Mike Zimmer's going to challenge the mark on that quarterback sneak.
Minnesota is challenging the progress spot. Timeout.
You lose it, of course, you lose a timeout. In a second effort by Allen. It'll be close, but they'll look at it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. And by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
During the break, Alex Kemp, the referee, let us know that the ruling on the field stands. There just wasn't enough evidence to be able to overturn it. First down for the Bills.
And you see pressure now coming for Minnesota. Up top of your screen, free safety.
Oh, they've got him now. The ball's out. He had the ball in an awkward position, and it was recovered, though.
Oh, Buffalo got him back.
Only one Bill player here right there, and he was able to win the battle. That's Kroom, who caught a touchdown in that first half.
Well, it's an outstanding pass rush by everyone in Minnesota. Get Smith, Gideon.
That's Smith, who really was the one who jarred it loose, but Kroom alertly there.
That's exactly how Minnesota needed to get back in this game.
Guy says, how did we not come up with that?
He's just so disgruntled.
All the way back at the 36, 2nd and 29 on a loss of 19 on that play. Over to Holmes. And he's got about 3. Update time. JP and Phil, we hand it off to you in New York.
Dalton's feet.
Andy Dalton moving around, buying a little extra time. Finds Tyler Boyd in the end zone for a 27-yard touchdown. Carolina up 28-21 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Back to Jim, Tony, and Tracy.
All right, thank you. That one going on down in Charlotte. Meantime, here it's still 27-0 Buffalo, but 3rd down and 25 for the Bills. Inside of 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. All kinds of time to find Zay Jones. Gets a big chunk of yardage back. Change a little field position, gets it down to the 42.
This is tough now. As you sit there, he's pretending to
the
go.
line. 4th and 8.
He's trying to draw him off sides, right?
Well, you still wouldn't pick up a first if you
No, but you could kick a field goal if you could do it. So you could take a delay game here. He's trying to draw him off sides. They're not going to snap this ball. If they do, I'd be shocked. Well, what happens is you're going to punt it to the quarterback, or you're going to try and draw him off sides. There's no other option right here. Drawing him off sides, or just take the penalty. Yep, because the 5 yards doesn't hurt you for the punt. It's actually a great job by Buffalo being prepared to walk up there and try and get him. And good job by Minnesota not falling for it.
And it took another 20 seconds or so off the clock.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's a lot of good coaching right there that takes a lot of time during the week that no one ever sees to prepare both sides of the ball. If Minnesota jumps off sides, that's 5 yards, field goal attempt. It only comes up in that exact scenario right there.
Bojorquez and the Bills back in punt formation. End over end. And it's covered up by the Bills at the 5-yard line. Jones downing it. Next week, our Super Bowl season continues with a big doubleheader. First, an AFC East showdown. Miami heads to New England, and then Drew Brees and New Orleans takes on the New York Giants in the doubleheader game that goes to most of the nation. All kicking off with the NFL today at noon Eastern on CBS. Back at the 5-yard line. Cousins pass. It's going to be the longest completion of the game for Minnesota. First one that was longer than 9 yards, and it's Treadwell for 14. Not only the longest pass play, the longest play pass or rush for the Vikings.
Just seeing soft zone by Buffalo over and over again.
Murray trying to wiggle around the defender, Taron Johnson. Only gains about 3.
Got to go no huddle, obviously, the whole rest of the game. Buffalo, keep the ball in front of you. If they keep going 4 to 6 to 8 yards, it doesn't hurt you at all. If they take 4 minutes off the clock, still doesn't hurt you. And you'll get 1 sack, 1 tip ball, something like that's been happening all game.
There's pressure, Hughes from behind. Oh, Hughes came flying across. We got another injured Viking.
Hughes has been a one-man wrecking crew. He just consistently is making Cousins have to move off the spot. And Reef just can't get out of his stance fast enough on a few of these plays.
It was O'Neal, the rookie right tackle, who got tripped up, but he's okay. 3rd and 7. He has been just a wrecking ball coming in from that side. Cousins blind side. Here he comes again. He got his hand on the ball, on his arm as he threw it. Incomplete. Back-to-back plays by Jerry Hughes.
I mean, this is... He's just going around. I mean, now we're going to put a tight end on him.
You were talking about this being a trap game because they have the Rams coming up on Thursday night down in Los Angeles. What do you think Wade Phillips' defense is going to do if it's anything off of this tape today? And that Rams defense and some of the guys they have.
They're for real up front, too. It's a growing concern if you're a Minnesota fan that this offensive line.
Big punt here.
Isn't playing up to the standard.
Yep. Definite concern. As McLeod. Ooh, I heard that from here. That was a loud pop. But everybody's okay. 60-yard punt. 14-yard run back and 2:41 to go in what has been a scoreless third quarter. Still 27-0 Buffalo.
Still 27-0, and Minnesota has actually had a play in the other opponent's territory once or twice today.
Yeah, that might have been it.
By the way, this stadium is fantastic. When you look at that right there, I mean,
this and their facility, their new training facility, absolutely top notch. That's Ivory, tripped up by Sendejo. Picks up a yard. But the clock keeps on moving. Late third quarter. Benjamin now. Gimpy.
'54's your mark.
The only thing we're missing in this stadium is being able to have a chance what it's like when the Vikings are playing well, because it comes here with all this buildup about one of those raucous scenes in the league. And it is stone quiet most of the afternoon here as Ivory goes out to pick up about another 4. We've got another update. JB and Phil.
A block punt led to this.
Yeah, Drew Brees working the pocket, steps up, finds Cameron Meredith for an 11-yard touchdown. New Orleans 23, Atlanta 21. And Jim, Boomer's not here. It's quiet in the studio right now.
Yeah, it's like it is here. Gotcha. It's a great little fun rivalry between those two blonde quarterbacks back in the studio.
Is it friendly rivalry?
It is. It's good fun. Here's a pass to Murphy. He stopped short by Kendricks. That'll bring on another punt. You were talking about the second half performance by the Bills defense last week when the Chargers had gotten up on them big by halftime. They held the Chargers to 65 total yards. and only 3 yards rushing. Now you would think that, Chargers big lead, they put up some big numbers on the ground. Only 3. And it was one thing they could hang their hat on during the week was how there was they may have turned a corner a little bit as far as cohesion in that second half. We've seen it today.
There's just been too many times in the NFL through 2 weeks everyone wants to write teams off and now chant. Buffalo's not that different than they were last year. They added some pieces, they lost a couple guys, but it's not just 36 new guys starting. It's just, and here's some big early season standouts. And this right here, that's Conor McGregor. He's done a great job.
Yeah.
But, oh wait, nope, sorry, that's
Who
Ryan
knew?
Fitzpatrick.
That is, of course, Mahomes has thrown 3 more touchdown passes today, so he's up to 13.
That's
and Khalil Mack.
an incredible start to your career there in Kansas City.
Anyway, you see what Mack's brought to Chicago, the Bears at 1-1. There's Cousins. With what's happening here, and I'm not going to make anything a final yet, but Green Bay struggling today at Washington. The Vikings, you're watching it, and then you look at the Bears at 1-1, Detroit at 0-2. I mean, this NFC North suddenly is in turmoil. Maybe the Bears are going to be right in the thick of it. 2nd and 3. Ball tipped, and almost there to make the play was Nate Orchard. This Bills defense has allowed 3 points in the last 5 quarters.
Just no ability to push this ball down the field if you're Minnesota. This is very concerning. We talked about a touchdown a little bit earlier, Jim. If this offensive line doesn't improve, I don't think you can come out of the NFC this year, because it's not like they're bootlegging a lot. They did a lot of that last year. With Case Keenum, they got him outside the pocket and kind of helped everybody. But now you have a pocket passer for the most part. And goes through 3 progressions, throws.
Picks up the first down to close out the 3rd quarter. That's Treadwell, who's holding on to the football today. Nobody scored in that quarter, but Viking fans are having one of their toughest days. Going to the 4th, and the Bills 27-0. Starting the 4th quarter, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson as Cousins on first down tries to get around Micah Hyde. Picks up only 2. Cousins still under 100 yards passing, 96 on 17 of 27.
1-1-1. Sunday. Touch.
There's a nice move. That picks up a first down. That's C.J. Ham. Broke a tackle. And the Vikings have now their 6th first down of the game as we're in the 1st minute of the 4th quarter. And that puts Cousins over 100. Last minute goes back to Ham. Oh, and he splits between 2 defenders, breaks the 3rd tackle, and goes out of bounds. Give that man the football a few more times. He hasn't given up.
But look at the pressure on Cousins here. He takes 1 step, it's a slant, and then he gets hit thrown to the flat. I mean, that's not sustainable if your quarterback's going to be consistently under that kind of pressure that quickly.
Ham took that for a total of 11. Minnesota today again without Dalvin Cook. They've rushed the football 6 times for a total of 14 yards.
That's more than I thought there. A little more aggressive. Buffalo coming after him.
Jump pass. Ham again, and he lost the football, but regained it somehow with Yarbrough breathing down him.
Well, that's the first time the ball bounces Minnesota's way, because the rest of the day, as soon as that ball bounces, it seems to go right into a Bills defender's lap, or maybe a foot right here to yourself, and then a ball that bounces there. And that's Minnesota for a touch. No, Buffalo's ball. But the fortunes are changing right before your eyes, Jim.
Here you go. It's all changing.
Watch this big comeback right here.
Ryan Lewis is the injured Bill defender. who got the start today because Philip Gaines out with the elbow injury. Actually, he and Taron Johnson have been splitting time. Coming out of an injury timeout, and the Vikings have the football at the Buffalo 43, moving it a little bit here for one of the rare times today, 2nd and 7. Pick up another first down with Thielen. His 7th catch. That one goes for 8. 7 catches, 47 yards for Thielen.
Sunday,
Back to Thielen again. Trying to get out of bounds, but wouldn't have mattered anyway with this far out. 12.5 to go. Another 7-yard pickup. Been a long time since Minnesota was blanked at home. I'm talking 1962. And they're trying to avoid that on this drive. Get something going. 2nd and 3, incomplete. That's Taron Johnson on the coverage.
Well, you're going to see the slant thrown right in between the defenders. It's actually a really good throw.
Was it ever?
And just good play by Johnson, just getting his hand in there.
Third and 3.
Here we go. Thielen on the top. Just work him against the right there in the inside slot. Just come out there and throw one of those guys up top of the ball.
There it is. It's short of the first, though. It's a yard short of the first. Came back to get it. It's 4th and 1.
Kirk's just not playing very well right now. That's an easy throw for him. He can do that in his sleep. And he's just been off today. Just not much time. The pressure's hurt him, and then on top of it, just a few times he has had time. He's just missed some throws that he doesn't normally miss. And Coach Zimmer knows it's not his day. Here we go. Buffalo's going to put everybody up there. They don't want you running this for a first down.
So they go up top to get it. Ham has it stripped away and complete by Micah Hyde, and the shutout continues. My goodness. What a hungry punch from Buffalo.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda's family of SUVs, sized to fit your life. Verizon, the best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by Sonic,
And the Bills
this is
were
how you Sonic.
in the old Metrodome. We are back with a handoff to Ivory. On first down out to about the 29. Well, quarterbacks drafted by Buffalo since 1984, and their record as a starter.
Yeah, they haven't had a great run, although I will admit, look at Brian McClure right there.
Yeah.
I think they might have tossed him out a little too early there.
They needed another look.
Yeah, you got to give a guy a chance, right?
That was actually, he was drafted in the 12th round.
Come on.
Won a 6-3 game, which was a replacement game in 1987.
You just knew that off the top of your head. That's unbelievable.
I saw the graphic and I had to look it up.
That's
Ivory. He's got a first down.
Yeah.
I think they've got the answer, though, as far as quarterbacks drafted, as they keep looking since Jim Kelly.
He looks the real deal today, doesn't he? The way he played in that first half. The second half, you're protecting the lead here. You got to protect the ball a little bit. But the way he played in that first half was as aggressive and smart and efficient. But you know, the accuracy down the field, the poise, the ability. I mean, look at that. That's an outstanding foot. That's at Minnesota against the Vikings, and you've made this crowd completely disappear in this football game. That does not happen here.
Actually, he made it nap time for many in the stands.
I took a nap for a little bit.
Noticed.
I mean,
At halftime. Get you feeling well. Just a 2-yard gain for Ivory this time. Coming up, the State Farm post-game show. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Coward. They have all the scores and highlights. There have been many more riveting games, but none more surprising than this one. They'll have the full details on the State Farm post-game show. You know, I thought it was interesting to hear that Josh Allen and Sam Darnold roomed together as the season was approaching, working with the same quarterback coach and getting ready for the season, getting ready for the draft. They got to be friends. They went to the Masters golf tournament together as spectators. And they went to the
was the U.S. Open or the
maybe it was.
I thought he was wearing a Shinnecock shirt.
It was the U.S. Open
because he was wearing the shirt when he came in.
Yeah, it was Kirk Cousins who went to the Masters.
That's a tradition
unlike any other. See, I've got to keep up with my quarterbacks at Augusta. I got to do a better job of that.
If you ever need tickets to Augusta, I know a guy.
You know a guy?
And he can get you in.
I might call you.
Before some light. Jump. Here we go. Hey, go. Let's go.
Mike Zimmer is gonna go. It's gonna be really bad for this Minnesota group on Monday when he puts that tape on.
There's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Tom Johnson, who re-signed with the Vikings this week. He had spent the last 4 years with them and then signed free agent Seattle in the offseason. Jettisoned by the Seahawks last week, and they said, we want him back. There he is, Tom Johnson. Got that tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the NFL is so close in talent. People don't realize sometimes that just your attitude and approach sometimes makes that. I mean, today, the trap game, we talk about all that stuff. They just didn't bring the same energy. It's almost that simple. The same attitude, the same focus, the same determination like that they did, last week. It's difficult to say.
There's Murphy stopped out at the 33, so they'll punt the football back.
And nothing makes you more angry as a head coach, I can promise you, than when your team just mentally decided to take off a little bit. And that's what it feels like if you're watching this Minnesota team today. It just feels like they're kind of trying hard, but they're not laying everything on the line right now. And Zim's not going to allow that. This will be the last time that this team does that.
They will be going right back to the building. The coaching staff will, after this game, somehow have to let go of this one as fast as they can, start getting ready for the quick turnaround on the road to Los Angeles. The team's actually going to travel on Tuesday to California. As this bounds around inside the 10, Hughes lets it go. And he'll set up Cousins and company at about the 8. Half a quarter to go. That was a 59-yard punt. Once again, Minnesota starts with a long field.
Once again, Minnesota is going to try and throw for 4 yards under duress.
Yeah. It's been about all they've seen, all they've done. Head fake from the goal line after a dump off, and
not quite 4 yards.
How about no
under
yards?
Duress for a yard.
Matt Milano today. Here around the league so far in this early window, we got 3 300-yard passers, Dalton, Mahomes, and Watson. Josh Allen, by the way, right at 200 on the number. Cousins 137. Pulled down, Thielen splits and gets the first. You were never shut out in your Cowboy career.
Oh, appreciate you.
So this Minnesota team, it goes back to
is that a real stat? I didn't know that.
It's a real stat. Just looked it up. 1962, the last time they were shut out at home.
Minnesota.
Fran Tarkenton was the quarterback early in his career.
That was the best play of the game right there for Minnesota.
That was the longest play, and it goes to Kyle Rudolph.
Well, they run the same play over and over again, and this time Cousins looks at Thielen, who he's thrown to in the middle of the field multiple times, and throws it right behind him to Rudolph.
Sunday, shot.
Back to Thielen.
Should have had it. He got hit by Ryan Lewis, who was shaken up earlier in this half, but has returned.
There's been a few of those today. When you look back, what are the two plays that really, I think you said it earlier, the penalty on that first drive.
On the third down play, the third snap of the game, that ended a 3 and out.
It's a 3 and out. You're
set
getting
a
the
pace.
ball.
Yeah, set a pace.
The fumble happens after that, after they score the touchdown. But then, do you remember, they kind of had a shot to get back in it when Diggs had that touchdown. Because Kirk hit him right in stride, remember?
Yeah. I think really, as far as like trying to send a message along to the rest of your teammates, the hurdle move by Josh Allen. Either that or the time that he scrambled for the touchdown from 10 yards out. The fact that he was flying on that one, flying on both of them.
Yeah, that was, I mean, some of the plays he's made today, just quarterbacks don't even try. And I feel like that's been really, it's been fun to watch, honestly.
Here's 3rd and 3, first down to the 50, back to Rudolph.
It's kind of fun watching. You know, good quarterback play.
As we approach 5 minutes to go. Murray slides off one defender, moves it inside the 40.
So we know Minnesota comes back with the Rams.
And then at the Rams and at the Eagles. The next two.
This is a bad loss.
It really makes it even worse.
This is real hard. I mean, they're going to have to win one of their next two.
Here's Diggs. He was fighting for it, fighting for position with Tre'Davious White. You got to give Tre'Davious White. You highlighted that matchup in our on-camera open about that was a key one to watch. And Diggs in this game has been held to 17 yards on 4 catches.
And you see White just does a great job staying outside, gets the free safety help late, and there's nowhere to go with that ball. Just White has played an outstanding football game. They needed him to do that. The secondary has looked very average through the first 2 weeks. Today looks outstanding, but a lot of that is because the safeties are able to play. They got the lead. They were able to play the way that Sean wants to see them play.
Jump pass. And about a yard short of the first is Robinson.
Sean McDermott, at his core, wants to blitz you from time to time and make you feel pressure, but not with 7 guys. He wants to do it, and then it's like, oh, they're still dropping 6, 7 guys. And then he wants to make you just slowly get 5 yards, 8 yards, and go all the way down the field. And he wants a sack. He wants that. He wants to make you throw 5 yards over and over again and see if you're willing to be patient enough to do it. That's how he wants to play football. Keep these games close. You go win them at the end.
Well, I'll tell you, he did a lot of things last season that he'll forever be remembered for around Western New York, and that was ending the long drought, getting him into the postseason.
Oh, he's a fantastic coach.
This right here has to be one of the finest hours for him.
That's going to be a great plane ride home after this game.
Here's Ham between a couple of Bills and down to about the 18 in the red zone for the first time today.
You know, this Buffalo team, too, for all your fans who are out there watching right now, probably feeling pretty good. The one thing you really want to have when you draft a young quarterback, you accept losing sometimes. So we have a player down, Lewis.
Lewis down for the second time in this half.
But this right now, you know what it does? It gives you hope. It gives you that belief that we're going somewhere that we haven't been in a long, long time. To have Josh Allen play the way that he did today, to come into Minnesota in a very difficult atmosphere, and to do what they did, it just, you know, even if they lose next week, or even if you see signs of life that this team can be something going forward. Having that coach and that quarterback, this could be pretty good. And we'll see how this turns out. But
speaking of Josh, Tracy, let's go back down to you.
Jim, Sean McDermott told us yesterday that Allen is a natural leader, and we saw him pumping up his defense last week, and then today out on the field congratulating his special teams. And then before this drive, he called his whole offense over and told them finish. He said, we want to end with a knee. And then he told his offense, make sure you go over to the defense and clap for them because they did one heck of a job. Guys, Allen may be making his first start, but he's already earned the respect of this team.
Already showing great leadership skills.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Tracy. That, you know, the thing is with him, when you talk to him, it's almost like that young kid who just doesn't know any better, you know? He's just so happy, he loves the game, and he's playing, and he's just, we're going to see what happens. And it's just it's enduring to see that passion. Oh, something's going on here. 3 guys jump off sides, 1 guy jumps. False start over here.
Reef says it's against the Bills. The left tackle. The Vikings pointing over on that side.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 55. That 5-yard penalty will result and a first down.
So the Vikings streak of being shut out at home, the last time was 428 home games ago. Norm Van Vleuten was the coach. Again, the great Fran Tarkington, who had a pretty cool offseason conversation with Kirk Cousins. He was the quarterback on that occasion. That could be ending right here. Cousins can get him the final, some 13 yards, and they're now inside the 10, make it about 8 to go.
The flag down, though. Might be bringing it back.
Denver has the longest streak of 445.
Foul, roughing the passer.
Ooh.
Defense number 53. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
This is silly. See him come off the edge, 53 Archer right there, and just hit the quarterback. It's gone.
Spot the football at the 4. 3 minutes to go.
Well, here we go. Now it gets nervous energy. Do they score or do they not score today? Let's see how this plays out, everyone. Don't leave your telecast yet.
You're a good salesman.
I don't know. I'm trying to sell myself.
Anything for the network. Here's Cousins. End zone, and it is caught. Rudolph has it. Touchdown, Minnesota.
We're going to see Rudolph go up and just push off right there and give himself a little bit of room. And the ball, we got to see if that's a catch or not. We're going to have to get in there close because
lost it for a minute as Hyde.
Did, but
I don't think it ever hit the ground.
That's what we're saying. Did it hit the ground ever?
They're going to go for 2 once the touchdown is verified.
Previous play is under review.
And they're going to review it again.
Well, they should, just to see if the ball touches the ground or not. Puts him in a bind right there with a little push off, and we saw that view. Can't tell from there. Still can't tell really from that view. There's a chance it touches the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's enough, though. Enough evidence to conclusively say that. This might help. Still can't tell.
I think that's a catch so far. Okay, here we go. This is the one right here.
Got his hand underneath
it. Underneath there.
It's a catch. Kyle Rudolph, who was drafted at Minnesota when Leslie Frazier, the Bills defensive coordinator, was the head coach of the Vikings. Rudolph and Harrison Smith and Xavier Rhodes were all drafted during the Frazier era here.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Okay, so if you get the 2 and then you score 2 more touchdowns off of onside kicks with 2s, and then you get a 3rd onside kick and you get a field goal, we're going to overtime.
So hold on, say that again. If you score the 2 and then get 2 more touchdowns,
get 2 more,
barely lose.
You know you're still in it. Here's the first part of it, and well, we'll have to come up with a new scenario. Now. It's Micah Hyde putting a hand in there. Good job by Hyde.
Yeah, that was well done.
Who gave this team a chance? Well, as we always do, we meet with both teams, and McDermott, always a fiery one, always an optimist. He was believing yesterday. I'm not sure everybody was buying what he was selling, during the week when he was doing his press conferences and everything, but his team did.
No, you're right, and that's, as a coach, as a player too, you've played long enough to know that sometimes just a scheme change, You know, something small can have a big impact on your team. And he's building the culture. He's got a foundation set that he's been trying to build around there. And there's changeover each year. You got to figure out your team each year and what they're good at.
Let's see what happens here. Dan Bailey.
Quarterback.
Yeah. Dan Bailey to try the onside kick, I would presume. Timeout first called by the Bills.
Buffalo, they're first, 30 seconds in length.
So, who believed? You know, you go around the NFL scene, no one thought it was possible. I mean, everybody was giving up on the Bills. They even had a player that quit at halftime last week. And
he even gave up on the
seriously,
Bills.
You wonder how much that fueled. You talked about their second half performance last week. They carried over to today. That might have been part of the mindset too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think when you look at it, the NFL is not, even these two teams who are, everyone would tell you Minnesota is more talented, but we're basing that off of last year, but the first two games, all these things. But ultimately, him retiring at halftime, this coach, it sends a message to your whole team. They rallied around that.
It's on the ground. You got it, Minnesota, and it goes out of bounds. You had about 2 chances. Wilson was in the neighborhood, so was Ham, and ball will go to Buffalo.
And we talked about the bounces all game.
Your old teammate here, Dan Bailey, did quite a job with that onside kick. I mean, that was like, as you draw it up.
It's like, just grab it. Oh, you know what's funny is they both accidentally tipped it at their own.
That's it. Ham was going to catch it, and then basically his teammate
Kickoff
Wilson tapped it away from him.
Kicking team. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
This is not the only surprise today. Tennessee has defeated Jacksonville. We were there last week to see the Jags beat New England, and here they come home. You know, a second game of a 3-game homestand. You think they're going to go into a game at Kansas City in a few weeks undefeated, but today they lose a divisional game to the Titans.
Yeah, this is, you're seeing the NFL, just the parity all over the place, and every year it is different. I mean, week to week. I mean, this is shocking. That was shocking. A lot of hope, though, for Buffalo fans. I want to see Buffalo next week now. I want to see if this is sustainable, you know, because now they've shown that they can do something, right? Let's see them do it again next week.
Next week they go to Green Bay, by the way. They stay in the NFC North.
Yep.
In fact, this was the first of a stretch of games where they played 4 out of 5 on the road. Everybody was talking so much doom and gloom after the first 2 games, and then they were going to go 4 out of 5 on the road. And you were hearing some people talking to some media this week, oh, this team could be, you know, they could be 0-7 before you know it. And they're going to walk away with a win at Minnesota, that a team that many thought might be the best in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it coming in. They were like, this team's outstanding. We knew that the offensive line wasn't, you know, great, but you can overcome that with so much of the other, you know, talent at other positions. And I don't know, this is going to be real interesting to watch both these teams over the next couple weeks, because Minnesota's much better than they showed today. But you got to go prove it, and it's early in the year. And right now they're in that rough spot.
Coming out of a Minnesota timeout, Ivory, quick contact on him, and now the Vikings will stop the clock again. The State Farm post-game show is coming up, and boy, will JB and his crew, will they have some feedback on this wild start to the 3rd Sunday of the season. All coming up on the State Farm post-game show. You know, we've talked about the schedule a number of times today. You put out the warning early about the trap because you come off of Green Bay, and then you know behind this game you have the Rams and the Eagles on the road. Games that could certainly decide some seedings at the end of the year, but you lose this one. And now you go into this stretch. It is a tough stretch of games coming up, including the quick turnaround Thursday at the Coliseum.
But the Thursday, the quick turnaround is great for you. When you have a loss like this, you need to just move on fast. You don't want 4 days. Get down.
Allen slides and gets down, and they'll have to punt the football. Minnesota out of timeouts. So Hughes is back. He had a pick 6 for a touchdown in his first NFL game week 1 against Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. Raised in New Bern, North Carolina, a city that was hit hard last week by Hurricane Florence. Hughes out of Central Florida, and he'll get a chance to handle it or watch it go over his head perhaps. On the other side of the 2-minute warning.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, enjoyed by giant blue fictional knights everywhere. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Bills to punt, 2 minutes to go. Vikings out of timeouts. Cousins will try to do a little something here in the closing couple of minutes. He just drove him down the field 90 plus to finally put points on the board. Hughes will not touch that one. Bills are there and they field it at the 5. Jones was able to grab it. Juan Jones, boy, that was some hit he suffered last week against the Chargers that led to 12 stitches. Difficult to even put the helmet on until about Thursday this week. So the quarterback comparison by numbers, you see 220 yards now for Cousins as he's picked up a bunch here in this last quarter. Ball was deflected.
I mean, he's getting hit and he can't throw a slant. That is very it's just really poor blocking up front this entire game by Minnesota.
There's Thielen. And he wiggles. He's got 2 yards to go. The clock will run. You start out the day, you're talking about the Vikings as a Super Bowl hopeful. They will end the day at 1-1-1. They'll have the same record as the Cleveland Browns.
And the Packers, right?
Well, the Packers struggling right now against Washington.
So is that going to make them 1-1-1?
Yes, it will.
Me and you aren't exactly math majors.
I didn't want to put that final yet. It was my point.
It was like, can I get a stat guy here? Is this correct? Are we
just
right?
to be sure?
Well, let's see. They tied one. They won one.
They haven't lost the first one yet. I don't want to put that final unless my information's a little. Oh, yep. Got 3 minutes to go to that one. Up to the 30. Rudolph. Hurried to the line with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, you're more concerned if you're a Minnesota fan just about their schedule these next 2 games. Minnesota could easily win any game they play. Nobody's going to feel comfortable going against Minnesota saying, oh, we got these guys. But they need to show a little bit of that dominating side of them that they had last week different times.
Murray should get to the sideline, and he does. And one other note about the Cleveland Browns. That was just an amazing performance by that team coming back from 14-0 down on Thursday night. There's going to be some great times ahead for them too, as things are starting to change a little bit around the NFL. Young quarterbacks, teams that have been down for a while, starting to prove themselves and build a foundation. Look what Kansas City's doing. Look what Buffalo did today. Jacksonville last year turning it around from a 3-win season to the AFC Championship game. Ham, can he get out of bounds? No, he's going to go middle. Down to about the 38.
That should be it. No need to snap anymore.
Wouldn't you want to pad your stats at this point?
Nah.
Make your fantasy followers happy?
You don't care as a quarterback.
I know you could care less about that, but Cousins going to run another play here.
But if you're going to throw it, you might as well get an extra 30 yards, I guess.
Thielen down and game over. Minnesota suffers its first loss, and that team walks off the field to a chorus of boos. There he is. The state motto here is the Star of the North. Little did we know that there would be a new star that would take the stage today and welcome that arena. Road win and a performance by Josh Allen announcing his arrival.
He announced it with his play. Outstanding job by Coach McDermott getting his team ready to go today, and by Josh Allen showing why he was drafted where he is. But now you got to continue. It's not just about today.
And what about McDermott? How big a win is that for him?
Oh my gosh, that's just like you said earlier. This is probably it's bigger than any win they had last year. The problem is they were 0-2 coming into this, but they needed this just to keep his team going in the same direction. That was big.
27-6, Buffalo wins it. So for Tony, Tracy, all the crew, Jim Nance saying so long from Minneapolis. Back to New York after this.